Hi, beloveds. This is Tamala, your empowerment partner. And today we're going to talk about, do you have symptoms when angels are trying to talk with you? So, how do you know when an angel is present? Are there physical symptoms or mm, experiences that you have in your third dimension that give you the understanding that angels are present? Yes, absolutely. And we're going to talk about those. So first, we're going to talk about visual things that may happen for you. You may see numbers like 111, 333, 777. Those are all high vibrational numbers. And those are indications for you that higher vibrational energies are present. They also could translate as confirmation for you once you created a dialogue with the angels and you learn how to interpret their messages and what they're trying to say. But definitely, those, especially those specific numbers, are angel numbers: 11, 11, 11, 333, 777, 111. Those are very clear indicators that you have an angel or a higher vibrational being with you. You may find feathers in unusual places. Now, it's not that uncommon to find feathers outside because birds are everywhere, right? And they drop their feathers. But what if you found one in your bedroom or in your office, or if one fluttered down from the ceiling in your bathroom, which happened to me once, little tiny feather? Those are indications that your angels are present. Another thing that you may see if your angels or higher vibrational guides are present for you is that you may see something over and over again. And what that means is your eyes may land on something, on a particular thing, on a particular sentence, on a particular phrase, on a particular place. You may go around your day and keep seeing the same word over and over again. Your eyes may be drawn to a particular statue in your home, or a tchotchke that you may have that has a meaning for you. Your eyes may be drawn to a particular item in your home that they're encouraging you to do, right? So one time I spent all day and I kept looking at this side of my desk and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. But I kept looking over there and I kept looking at, my eyes were just drawn over there. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what this is. So I ignored it. I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't put any effort into it. And what I realized at the end of the evening was that I had forgotten to take my medication that day. I was actually sick and dealing with a respiratory infection. And I was like, oh my God, where's my medicine? And I came back and looked, and my medicine was sitting right there where my eyes kept going to. It was like, take your medicine, take your medicine. And I just completely ignored them. So that kind of thing can happen as well. So what happens in your thoughts when angels and higher vibrational beings are present? You'll find that thoughts of worry tend to dissipate or dull, so that they're not so vibrant and alive for you. They become quieter, and you have the ability to remember your blessings. So instead of your thoughts being filled with all this worry or trauma or drama or concern or fear, instead those tend to get quieter. And then you have the ability to see possibility, to remember the blessings that you already have, and to have an ability in your mental space to find peace. So what about smelling? What kinds of smells can you smell when your angels or higher vibrational beings are present? For me, when the angels come specifically, it is a very clean, clear, light fragrance. It's not something that I have ever been able to identify. It's not a flower. It's not, a food. It's none of those things. but it's just a very clean, very, yeah, it smells etheric. I don't know any other way to explain it. And so for you, it's going to be a different smell than you're accustomed to, that's going to feel really clean and neutral. Okay. So what about feelings? You can feel comforted. You can feel what has happened to me many times when I was first beginning to connect with my angels is that I would actually feel like someone was standing behind me, someone taller than me was standing behind me and putting their hands on my shoulders to comfort me. That was a really, really profound engagement, physical engagement that I had with my angels in the beginning. And it was so lovely, but also important for me to be able to recognize that they are here with me in my daily experience. So it's not just something that is happening when I'm in a mental state, I mean, when I'm meditating, right? Or when I'm in church, or when I'm separated from the world, but it's actually them being with me in my real life. Now, you may find or feel that your feelings of anxiety, of distress, of trauma, drama, fear, right? Those feelings also become subdued. And you have the ability to access comfort, peace, ease, and even joy. Now, you also may feel things that feel like things are crawling on your skin. I frequently have, it feels like feathers tickling my face, especially when I start channeling. And so if you see me and I'm touching my face, it's because they're tickling me. The tickling means it's part of the playfulness that we have that allows me the opportunity to acknowledge the joy in the situation, and that it allows me to recognize that they are physically present with me in that moment without them having to go through my thoughts or emotions, because when I'm channeling, I'm separate from that. I'm separate from my thoughts and emotions. And so they couldn't talk to me through my thoughts in that moment or my emotions in that moment. So they get to touch my face or my arms. And that happens now all the time, not just when I'm channeling. And it's sweet and it's endearing, and it's a reminder that I'm never alone. So what about hearing? How do you hear things if angels are present? Well, you could hear your name. You could hear statements like, you are safe, you are worthy, you are important, you're wonderful, right? Things like that. Or you could hear, and what happened for me was I used to hear this noise, and it sounded like noise, but it was really faint. And it was like, where is that noise coming from? And it took me a while to identify what the noise was. And to me, it sounded like a choir singing. And it wasn't words, it was just sounds of singing. And what I realized is that was the angels singing, and they were trying to tune my ears in to being able to hear them. And it took me a while to begin to pay attention. When I would hear that noise, I would start saying, oh, wait, that's the angels singing. And then I would welcome them into my experience so that then they would be able to offer other communications, either by sight, by sound, by touch, right? Any of those, smell, any of those things. And now I don't hear that so much anymore because I've built up a relationship to being present with them. I've tuned my ears to listen to them. So now I hear a lot more sentences. I hear a lot more, you're safe, you can do this, we're behind you, you're not alone, right? Things like that. And so if you're hearing noises that are not noises, really, that you can identify, but still it's like you hear it no matter where you go, you just kind of hear it. ask yourself, is this possibly a connection to my angels? And are they trying to tune my ears to their frequency? And what about if you just know that they're there? If you have an understanding or an awareness, and it's like, look, the angels are here. I just know they're here. That also is how they communicate with you, because remember, they're communicating with you the way that you receive information. And so if you have clear knowing, you'll know when they're present. And if you know someone is present, but you don't necessarily know it's an angel, you can ask who they are and ask what they're there for. Now, you can always ask 3 times, because if it is a being maybe that is not from the light, you want to know that. And all beings are required to answer the truth on the 3rd asking. So you can ask them who they are, ask them and they answer, ask them who they are and they answer, and ask them the 3rd time, and they have to tell you the truth on the 3rd time if they're a nefarious being. So you can ask who they are and then also ask them what they're there for. Now, if it's a nefarious being, you don't want to continue to have them in your experience. But today we're talking about angels. So you're not going to have to ask them 3 times, but if you're not sure, you can use that to validate who it is that you're speaking with, or that you're hearing from, or that you're communicating with. And you'll get the answer of either through the feeling, through the seeing, through the smelling, through the, right, however your senses communicate. And you'll feel the feathers on your skin, you'll hear the sentences, you will see a particular, maybe you'll start seeing angel figurines everywhere, or necklaces, or paintings, or whatever, right? So all of this really is about us tuning into our own ability to understand how we interpret information from the universe, from angels, from guides, from beings that are not in a body, and learning how to use those skills on purpose so that we can communicate in an effective and powerful way. So what do you do once you recognize that they are present with you? And we're talking about your angels or your guides or higher vibrational beings. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to thank them. Thank them for being present. Thank them for protecting you, for healing you, for giving you wisdom and clarity and support, for loving you, for all of the wonderful things that are in your life and that are going to be in your life because of the relationship that you have with them. You can ask them for guidance and healing. You can know what their specialties are, and I'll link the video at the end of this one on the end screen where we talk about the angel specialties so that you can know which ones that you can call on for different things. And the idea of thanking them for specifically what they provide, for Michael providing protection, for Raphael providing healing, and so forth. That also gives you the opportunity to connect and make a commitment with the energy that they're providing for you. You're acknowledging it, you're welcoming it, and hopefully you're integrating it into your experience. You can ask them to help you see your path more clearly. If you're confused, if you don't know which way to go, how to turn, what choice to make, you can ask for feedback from them on how you can make a better choice. They're not going to tell you what choice to make, but they will tell you or give you clues on how you can make a better choice. And again, those clues are going to be coming from thinking, feeling, seeing, right? All of those things that we talked about before. You can ask your angels and your higher vibrational beings anything, and then pay attention to how your physical body feels. You may get a feeling in your left side or your right side. I did that backwards. Your right side or your left side. Your right side is going to be about masculine energy, about action, about doing. Your Left side is going to be more feminine. It's going to be more receiving and receptive and offering, and um, right is giving, left is receiving, right? It's this companionship. You may feel the feathers. You may have the worries subside. You may feel joy. You may smell a particular fragrance, right? So begin to craft your own vocabulary with your angels and with your guides, so that as you're tuning in to how they are communicating with you, it doesn't have to stay at the same level. It can move into a more full vocabulary, a more full and vibrant communication, so that they don't have to just draw your eyes over to looking, at where the medicine is, even though you keep ignoring it. They can say, hey, Tamala, take your medicine, and you can hear them, right? So I hope this information has been helpful for you. Please leave a comment. Let me know any takeaways that you have. Also, make sure that you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel so that you can get new content that will help you live your soul purpose. And I upload that content every Wednesday.